Hey folks, this is Tracy with Scrappy's Rustics. In this video, I'm going to show you how we ended up decorating these cedar planks with just a little bit of jute and dried flowers, some Sweet Annie, a couple embellishments. We did decorate, or we did the grain stripes and this IOD paint inlay on a live. I can't remember if it was Facebook or YouTube, but there is a live showing how we did those. This video is going to show you how we embellishment. Oh, look at that Sweet Annie. Woo! The inevitable, hard to find Sweet Annie. Y'all stay tuned. I got tricks up my sleeve. Stay tuned if you love the Sweet Annie, because it is amazing, and boy does it smell good. So there it is. There it is, the Sweet Annie. Oh, y'all, it smells so good. I put it, sniff, sniff. Can you smell it? I wish there was smell-o-vision, y'all. And this little guy I got from the Dollar Tree, my goodness, years ago. I don't like those long honking things, but I love the little dried pieces. I got a bunch of Tim Holtz distressed oxides. Of course, I don't know the colors off the top of my head. Something like vintage and walnut and tea and black soot and something like that. And then our distressing brush that helps you buff it in. We've got some multicolored jute there. Not multicolored, just two colors. Our black ink pen that doesn't smear when we want to write it on our tags. And you'll all be happy to know I've got these tags available, a 12-pack on our website right now, scrappysrustics.com. And that is sari silk that is coffee stained and baked, and then just regular sari silk. And that is the IOD paint inlay from the book Melange. And we did these grain stripes with painter's tape and some black acrylic paint. And we did those live, and I can't remember though if it was on Facebook or YouTube, but it wasn't that long ago. You can check those videos out if you're interested. I love the way the grain stripes came out. Actually, I love both of them. And then you can see we went around the edges just to soften it up. So I'm just wrapping the neck of this with this two-color jute. I love the colors. I feel like go perfectly with it. These planks, they're called stacking planks, something like that, but they smell so good. They're made out of cedar. So I throw those long thingamabobs out. I just love this little bush here, and it's perfect. I have another one. I don't know if Dollar Tree still sells them or not. So I ended up leaving the tie they had on there just because it was holding it all together, and I figured I'd just wrap my jute around that. So that's what I did, using the same two-color jute. I thought that was simple, but just what it needed. So I wrapped that around. I should have glued it a little more as I went to the top because I end up cutting it. But as it was on there, I did have to adhere a little, or put a little more glue in there because it was a little loose. So if you wrap it tight to the top and then decide to cut the excess off, make sure you add a little extra glue up top. Just learn from my mistakes. I just think that's so simple, and I love this piece. And then I have this really nappy, thick jute. I thought I could wrap this jute around it to give it a little more interest, but that was a complete fail, so we skipped it. But this jute is really nappy, like it's lumpy, and it's just not a good jute, but I think it's like the perfect look that I was looking for a hanger for this. So it worked out. And that's all I did is tie it in a simple knot, and I end up trimming the top off of that. That's where I realized I should have put a little more glue, actually, after I smoosh it, and I do that to reinforce it. There's lots of ways you could adhere this or do this differently. This is just what I came up with, and I really love it. I don't know if I can part with these two because they're so cute. I love this look. I mean, it's simple. It's an easy project. This will make a great gift. Somebody come to my house and gave this to me for a gift. Man, I'd invite them over often. I'd invite them over often. I just love this kind of stuff. I think they're like 12 inches, maybe 14 inches. So I'm just tying a piece of sari silk, coffee dyed, coffee baked for that handle to hang. And then I'm writing fresh flowers, $1 or something like that. I didn't make you watch me do all that. But I like that marker because it doesn't smear. So when you go to put your oxides on, your oxides don't dry right away. And if you have a marker, it will smear, trust me. So I end up using, I think, all of these. I'm just trying to grunge it up a little more than it is. The tag itself is grunged a little bit, but not quite the grunge I was looking for. So I'm just going to town, dabbing here, dabbing there, using them all. So I love that little look. Easy peasy. Little tag just adds a little more interest to your piece. And that paint inlay was sealed with a spray poly before I went over the entire piece. Both pieces, I went over both pieces with Pentar Ultra Matte before applying these embellishments. But with the paint inlays, you must use a spray sealer first. Otherwise, if you use any type of brushing motion, it reactivates the paint and it will smear. And it will, because I did it on my jean jacket. And I was so mad because I knew better. So we're just wrapping some of the coffee dyed around the neck of it. And then I forgot I had this gauze. Is that what it is? Gauze? Cheesecloth that I coffee baked as well. Coffee stained and coffee baked. And I thought, well, that'll make... I'm not a very good big bow person. I don't really know. I know how to make a scrappy bow, and I like bows like this. So there's no technique here. I'm just kind of winging it, but I like the look of that. So I went with it. And the bow that's on top is just one piece of sari silk and one piece of coffee stained baked sari silk. Pretty simple. I love the way this cheesecloth came out, though. That was easy. So I'm putting my tag in the middle. I didn't put a tag on the other one because I should have put it under the dried flowers, but there really wasn't room for it, so I left it out. I think these tags just add a little bit of interest. Kind of vintages it up a little bit more. And I don't know. I like the look. So I'm just fussing with my bow there. Trimming it where it needs to be trimmed. And it's just a shoestring bow, like tied in two. That's really all it is. So I'm hot gluing that guy down. And we're going to add the infamous Sweet Annie. Y'all stay tuned if you're on the lookout for Sweet Annie. Big things happening here over at Scrappy's Rustics. Big things. You know, when somebody's quiet doesn't mean that they're not up to something. So I'm just, this is my first time actually using it. So I'm just kind of gluing it where I can and shoving it underneath my bow. I love the look this gives it. And between the Sweet Annie and the cedar, now this piece smells pretty stinking amazing. I probably shouldn't use the word stinking with amazing, but it smells really good. Put it that way. Oh man, this is probably my favorite. I almost wish I couldn't have done these the opposite way because the other one, the flowers would have covered the inlay. But I love the way the top of this came out, and I love the grain stripe on the other one. Y'all, you can buy those grain stripe stencils all day long, but they are really hard to work with unless you tack them down or glue them down. Painter's tape works just as well. You can buy different sizes. I actually think it's in my Amazon store. All my affiliates can be found at scrappysrustics.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired you. I'd love for you to subscribe, follow YouTube, Facebook. I am Scrappy's Rustics on all the platforms. Y'all, I love these pieces. They're so simple. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.